That snowboarder was 21-year-old Raphael Pease, a student at the University of Colorado Boulder, studying environmental studies and geography, with a minor in atmospheric and oceanic sciences. With a passion for snowboarding, Raphael spent a significant amount of time chasing snow around the globe. Whenever he had free time from his studies, you could find him traveling between the northern and southern hemispheres in search of the best powder. Raphael wasn't just an occasional snowboarder. He lived and breathed the sport, dedicating about 180 days each year to riding the slopes. His deep love for snowboarding and his extensive experience on the mountains had made him highly skilled at navigating unpredictable and sometimes dangerous terrain. But even with his wealth of experience, nothing had prepared him for what he stumbled upon during that particular snowboarding trip. As Raphael made his way down the mountain, enjoying the familiar rush of adrenaline that came with each turn, something unusual caught his eye. At first, he wasn't sure what he was seeing, but as he got closer, he realized it was an animal, a creature that looked completely out of place in the snowy environment. The animal appeared disoriented, cold, and struggling to survive in the freezing conditions. Most people might have felt powerless in that situation, unsure of what to do and focused on continuing their ride. But Raphael wasn't like most people. He quickly assessed the situation and made the decision to intervene. Without hesitation, Raphael rode toward the animal, determined to help. He knew that leaving the creature there in such extreme weather could mean certain death. As he approached, Raphael identified the animal as a small, domesticated goat, shivering and clearly lost. The poor creature had no business being in such a high-altitude, snow-covered environment. It was clear that the goat had somehow become stranded and couldn't find its way back to safety. The freezing cold had left it vulnerable, and Raphael knew that time was of the essence. Using his quick thinking and resourcefulness, Raphael gently approached the goat and carefully lifted it onto his snowboard. Despite the awkward situation, the animal remained calm, as if sensing that Raphael was there to help. He wrapped the goat in his jacket, doing his best to provide warmth as he figured out the safest way to get both himself and the animal down the mountain. Riding down a snowy slope with an animal in tow was no easy feat, but Raphael's years of experience and his love for the outdoors prepared him for this moment. Slowly and steadily, he made his way down the mountain, holding the goat securely while navigating the snow. Fellow snowboarders and skiers watched in amazement as Raphael skillfully descended the slope with his unusual passenger. Once they made it to safety at the bottom of the mountain, Raphael ensured the goat was warm and cared for. He knew he had done the right thing by stopping to help, and the goat's survival was proof of the difference one person's compassion can make. Raphael's actions that day exemplified the spirit of kindness and responsibility, reminding everyone that when we encounter a creature in need, it's up to us to take action. Raphael's incredible rescue story quickly spread, and people were in awe of how he had saved the life of a helpless animal on a freezing mountain. His decision to stop and help, despite the challenging conditions, showcased not only his skills as a snowboarder, but also his deep compassion for animals and the environment. For Raphael, it was just another day on the mountain, but for the goat, it was a second chance at life. This rescue is a testament to the power of quick thinking, bravery, and the willingness to help those in need, no matter the circumstances. Recently, Raphael Pease embarked on a special trip to Chile to celebrate his 21st birthday. He was eager to enjoy some fresh snowboarding on the pristine slopes and planned to document the entire adventure with his Gopro. Little did he know that what was supposed to be a routine snowboarding trip would turn into an unforgettable rescue mission. While riding down a remote mountain in the Chilean backcountry, Raphael suddenly spotted something so strange that it made him stop his board in its tracks. In the distance, partially buried under a massive heap of snow, he saw what looked like a large animal. Intrigued and concerned, he decided to investigate, hoping to figure out what was going on. With his GoPro still recording, Raphael approached the mound of snow. As he drew closer, he couldn't believe what he was seeing. To his shock, he realized that buried beneath the snow was a horse, barely visible except for a few features sticking out of the white blanket that covered it. The horse was going to die unless someone did something, Raphael later recounted. Without hesitation, he began digging, using his hands to claw away at the thick snow that had trapped the horse. He knew this was a life-or-death situation, and time was not on the animal's side. The GoPro on his helmet continued to record the entire rescue, capturing the most heroic footage of Raphael's efforts. As he dug through the snow, Raphael worked quickly, yet carefully, making sure not to harm the horse as he freed it. He could see the animal's exhaustion and fear, but it remained surprisingly calm, as if understanding that Raphael was there to help. The task was daunting, with the snow packed tightly around the horse's body, but Raphael's determination only grew stronger. Raphael later explained the circumstances to Grind TV during an interview. The rescue occurred on July 13, he said. It was my 21st birthday, and I was at El Colorado Mountain in Chile. It had just dumped snow the night before, so I hiked up into the backcountry to get some powdered turns in. What he thought would be a peaceful birthday snowboarding trip turned into something much more significant. After what felt like an eternity of digging, Raphael finally managed to free enough of the horse's body for it to move. Slowly but surely, the horse, now freed from its icy prison, began to regain its strength and mobility. Raphael watched in relief as the horse shakily stood up and took its first few steps in the snow. The sight of the animal moving again filled him with a sense of accomplishment and joy. Thanks to Raphael's quick thinking and tireless efforts, the horse had survived a potentially fatal situation. His decision to act, rather than simply ride by, had saved a life. For Raphael, this birthday rescue became an unexpected yet meaningful adventure that he would never forget. The footage captured by Raphael's GoPro quickly spread, showing the world the bravery and compassion he displayed that day on the mountain. His actions were praised by many who admired his willingness to stop and help an animal in need, even in such an unlikely and challenging setting. Reflecting on the experience, Raphael emphasized that the bond between humans and animals can transcend even the most unexpected circumstances. His love for nature and the outdoors had led him on countless adventures, but this one stood out as a reminder of the importance of compassion in the face of adversity. What began as a snowboarding trip to celebrate his birthday became a rescue mission that saved a life. Raphael's actions serve as a testament to the power of kindness and bravery in the most unexpected moments. The horse was safe, thanks to his determination, and the story of their encounter will undoubtedly remain a powerful example of human-animal connection for years to come. Almost as soon as I started down the mountain, I saw the horse buried in the snow and knew I had to act, said Raphael Peace. He was on a snowboarding trip to enjoy the fresh powder, but his day took an unexpected turn when he discovered a horse trapped under a thick layer of snow. Without hesitation, Raphael made the brave decision to help, knowing it wouldn't be easy. Raphael knew the horse didn't have much time. Trapped under layers of snow, the animal was vulnerable, and without help, its chances of survival were slim. So he put down his snowboard and committed himself to the rescue. I ended up giving up the best powder day of the year to spend all day digging it out of the snow. But it was worth it, Raphael said. The digging process was grueling, and it took hours to clear enough snow for the horse to move. Raphael worked tirelessly, battling the cold and exhaustion, but he never thought about stopping. He knew that the horse's life depended on his efforts, and he was determined to see it through. After what felt like an eternity, Raphael finally freed the horse from the icy grip of the snow. But as soon as the horse was out, another problem presented itself. They were still high on the mountain, and the horse had no way of getting down on its own. The slopes were steep, the terrain was challenging, and Raphael needed to figure out how to lead the animal to safety. The journey down the mountain wasn't easy. Raphael had to carefully guide the horse, making sure it didn't stumble or get stuck again. Despite the challenges, Raphael stayed patient, giving the horse plenty of time to move at its own pace. After hours of slow, steady progress, the pair finally reached the base of the mountain. Once they were safely off the slopes, Raphael began searching for a safe place to release the horse. He eventually found an open field, an ideal spot where the animal could roam freely and recover from its ordeal. But even this part of the rescue wasn't simple. It didn't happen as easily as I thought it would, Raphael admitted. The horse, still disoriented and unsure of its surroundings, hesitated to leave Raphael's side. After spending so much time together, Raphael had formed a bond with the horse, and it seemed that the animal trusted him more than the wild. However, Raphael knew that the best thing for the horse was to let it go free in the open field where it would be safe. Eventually, the horse began to explore the area, and Raphael watched as it slowly adjusted to its new surroundings. Raphael's story of rescuing a horse from a snowy mountainside quickly spread, inspiring people with his selflessness and bravery. What had started as an ordinary snowboarding trip turned into an unforgettable act of kindness. Through hard work and determination, Raphael had saved a life, proving that sometimes the best adventures are the ones we don't expect. When I got down to the ski resort, some of the resort workers tried to take the horse from me and bring it somewhere to let it die, Raphael recounted. It was crazy because I was doing them a favor by preventing a dead horse from being left on their resort. Despite his best efforts, it seemed that the horse's fate was still uncertain. Weeks passed, and Raphael hadn't heard anything about the horse. He wasn't expecting any updates until one day he received some surprising news from a local farmer. While in Chile, Raphael had been working on setting up the Flux Bello Mountain Film Festival. He had spent several weeks in the community, and word quickly spread about his daring rescue of the horse. Soon, a local farmer approached him with unexpected information. The farmer told me that he had been the previous owner of the horse, Raphael said. He explained that it was an old workhorse he had recently released so it could enjoy its last years in peace. The farmer hadn't expected the horse to end up trapped on a snowy mountain, but when he heard about Raphael's rescue, he felt compelled to find him and thank him personally. Grateful beyond words, the farmer expressed his deep appreciation for Raphael's actions. He thanked me for rescuing it, Raphael added. The farmer had simply wanted the horse to live out its final years in freedom, and thanks to Raphael's heroic efforts, that wish was fulfilled. The farmer's gratitude touched Raphael, but he didn't view his actions as anything extraordinary. To him, it was simply the right thing to do. I just did what needed to be done, he said humbly, brushing off any suggestion that he had done something exceptional. It's people like Raphael who help restore faith in humanity. His selflessness and determination to save the horse, despite the challenges, ensured that the animal would live out its remaining years in peace. Thanks to his brave and compassionate actions, the horse now roams freely in a beautiful pasture, able to enjoy the rest of its life in comfort. Raphael's story is a reminder that even small acts of kindness can make a world of difference. He didn't hesitate to step in when the horse needed help, and in doing so, he saved its life. It's a heartwarming example of how compassion and courage can change the course of someone's, or in this case, something's, life for the better.